Shik, welcome back to the channel. We actually have had you on here before, and when you finished your first 13-week program, but you've not only done one, you've done two with me, and we've been working together for almost a year now. I think about a year ago we met this time. So the point of today is just for everyone to learn about your experience, what you've learned, your own growth, your own transformation. So I just want to shoot it off. Over this last year, what's been the biggest thing for you doing this work?
Yeah, I mean, there are probably like no words you could ever describe to learn about life and become alive. For me, yeah, it's like been such a year for me. I'm 24, uh, spent my entire life kind of working towards not really having any clue of what I wanted to do in life. And then once you start getting into the work and becoming alive, you start to see like there's a world that's like revolving and that works in your favor, and you start to become a person. So, like for me, yeah, no words to really describe it.
Yeah, your growth has been some of the most incredible growth I've ever seen, especially for someone this young. Like when I met you in Tulum, you just got here, you're figuring things out, and fast forward a year, you have 3 different businesses. You do your real estate, you have your own healing practice now that we've been doing together. You have your modeling career. How did you go from just going to Mexico to trying to figure it out to having 3 companies now? What was like the real unlocking for you? What happened?
Yeah. I think I started digging, and then you realize you can do anything, and like you determine what you are and who you are and what you can do, and then once you start actually just having energy to live, then there's no limit to having any interest. Like they're all just my interests. It's just my life. So everything I do is like I've made it a hobby to make money, and I've made it a hobby to just live and to just enjoy life. When before it wasn't. It was like it's more like survival. It's more of like, hey, I have to do this, and then when I get there, I'll enjoy this, and then yeah, it's like making sense of myself internally, and then I can just like things show up, and it just works that way.
So yeah, can you talk a little bit about like what is that work? You said digging, and what does that mean? Digging for what? And what is it that in this work we're actually doing? How would you describe it?
Yeah, for like anyone who wanted to do the work or is interested in excelling or taking off internally or just in life in any type of way, it starts with getting out of the mind and learning what your true programs are and kind of understanding how you function as a human. The way I would describe the work is like coming to the truth of who you are and what you're doing, and being able to like ground yourself on this earth and kind of take a real look at yourself and try to become more present. And it's like living in truth. It's like it's you live so long of thinking you're something or someone else, or kind of making all these excuses why you're not something now. It's like, hey, like what could you even say? It's like you have these dreams, but they're just like so far in the distance that you don't really even consider reaching them now, because it's just like you're doing what you're doing in the present. Like you have a job and you're fine with life, but it's like you don't really, I'm going on about kind of just life, but you don't really enjoy what you're doing. So when you get into the work, it's like, let me figure out like everything, like let me redo everything in this world, and just like, yeah, just start to accept yourself.
Yeah, one thing
In a lot of
you
ways.
talk about is the survival state and like that paradigm. Could you talk a little bit about what it was like? You've done so much growth, but like being in that paradigm, and how did you get out of it? How did that work, and what does it look like on the other side of that?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So survival, I would say, is is seeking. Survival is trying to come to like to make it or try to be accepted. And when you can just accept yourself on a deep level of not just like, hey, like, do you accept yourself? You're like, yeah, of course. But like, if you actually like, someone asks you like, have you ever been on a journey of like self-love or like a journey of like truly accepting yourself? And you're like, yeah, but like you don't really know. You probably haven't done it, and you probably need to do that because there's so much that like you're like if you wake up stressing in the morning, it's probably because there's something going on that you don't know at all. And surviving is that feeling of waking up and nothing's really going right for you, and you're late, and things aren't going well already, and it's like it's been 2 minutes since you just woke up. So that's like survival, and then to beat that is like taking control of the inner voice, of taking control of your mind and understanding how the mind works. Because if you don't know how the mind works, if you're just like, yeah, I do, you don't know. Like you have to really put in work to understand what the mind is doing underneath. Like it's. If you don't know, you don't like. It means that you have work to do. There's something to go underneath and go do.
So how did you, like within our work together, you described the journey about, being so much in the mind and the worry, the survival and the fear to going back into your body and the heart. Could you talk about what is that journey? How does that, yeah. And
sure.
How did it work? How did it go for you?
For sure. So I think one of the biggest things from the entire practice with you is starting to actually like feel my body. I probably never even realized that I didn't really feel what was going on, or I didn't even know to go try to feel, to go see what was going on, or to listen to my body, or go listen to like what's around me and see what actually is. So to go from, to get out the mind, it's like, I didn't know you could feel. I had no clue. And once you start practicing feeling and practicing with the breath and really sitting with yourself of like, all right, what's keeping you from feeling? It's the mind. And the mind is going to constantly keep you from feeling, because if you don't know that you're safe and you're okay, then your mind's not going to allow you to feel. So coming back to feeling and listening to the mind or not listening to the mind is a matter of intention. So learning to practice intention and learning to actually force yourself to feel instead of subconsciously protecting yourself in that way. So it may not really make a lot of sense when I speak it, but to actually go and do it is a whole nother thing, to try to go, like open up the gates. Pretty much.
As we're doing, this is like an inner game, and we're doing all this inner work, meaning we're a lot of times releasing emotions, traumas, limiting beliefs. How does that show up you? Like, what are some of the biggest personal benefits you've experienced from the work, within your life, your business, even the external? What have you noticed? How has it changed things as you change that inner world? How does it reflect the outer world?
Yeah, it's so direct. So I think I always dreamed of building a business or working for myself. I think for a good number of people, that's probably like the dream, is I don't want to work for anyone. I don't want to listen to anyone's stuff. And to learn how to work for yourself is to learn how to live for yourself. And when you're building a business, there is no better way to look at yourself and to have motivation than to have these like goals and like keep following up on what I wanted to do. So I think for me, the way they go hand in hand was like the more I accept myself and the more I can face my doubt, the more I can face my fear personally, the more I can do it with my business. So and it's the same thing. I'm my business. My business is just my life. So everything I want to do is like, if I just program myself to make money, which is just how you make money, is like, identify with making money or running a business, and that's just kind of who you are, because it's just everything tries to flow. So in the process of creating a business, it's just like all these fears, all these doubts, all this stuff comes up, and the fact that you're running the business is so personal, because people are like, hey, like this is not going right, and so it's like an attack on myself. So, yeah, it's kind of like, it's the best way to go about it is to create a business and then face the doubt and the fear as it comes.
Yeah. So what is it like to go through these emotions like doubt and fear, and what happens as you actually go within and let them go, break through them? What happens after that?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the second you release, it's like an automatic, energetic, like magnet to whatever you're trying to create or whatever you want in the world. So if I have all this doubt, let's say I want to rent a house or an apartment, or I want a job or something, but I'm like, I'm not good enough for this job, or I'm not good enough to rent this house, or I don't know, like 5 houses haven't worked, like this hasn't worked, this hasn't worked. And the second you just like realize that this mind is like lying to you constantly, and you just go within and you're just like, okay, I feel all this doubt, and then you face it, and then you just let it go. Then the second you wake up and you check your phone, it's like a text comes in, and you go and you go get the place that you were looking for, or the person who you wanted to text you back, or something like that.
I love that you brought that up. So much of this work, this healing work, it unfolds into the spiritual, the metaphysical, and those internal changes have these energetic consequences on the outside. You talk a little bit about just your experience on, both just regarding the spirituality component of all this. And I know you didn't come into the work, being the most like God, spiritual dude ever, but things have grown a lot for you as you've, in my own words, awakened and done this in a work. Can you talk a little bit about the role of the spirituality, how that unfolds into all this?
So I would say for me, it's been so important for me to try to connect with that spiritual aspect, because for me, I believe that spirituality is like happiness. Spirituality is or peace. It's the way that you enjoy yourself. And the more you connect with your spirit is the more you connect with your being. Your spirit is who you are. And it's like, I like to think maybe we're all like animals. And the more you're connected with the spirit, the more you are an animal, and the more you're connected with like the jungle that is Earth. So beyond that, to face fear and doubt, I think the most important thing is to have faith. And it's something that we've had conversations about, of just have faith, just have faith stronger and stronger in whatever you want to believe it is, in the world, in God, in the universe. And the more faith you have and the more times you face your doubt and your fear and you overcome it, then you have more reason to even have stronger faith, because you've already done it. So if you're creating a business, or if you're just trying to live on your own and go see the world or do something for yourself, having that faith and that like the world's going to catch you in its hands if you need it, or if like you release and you do something for the world, you'll get something in return. It's so, I don't know, it's a beautiful core part of the work that is like, wow, like there's a part to the world that helps you when you ask it and when you know how to work with it.
We both of us, we live in Tulum, Mexico, which is, I consider it like the mecca of spirituality, healing, mysticism. And there's so many different practitioners and modalities and healing things and ayahuasca and all this stuff out there. And you've definitely been through the gamut of a lot of it. But you've also, locked in on my work and working with me. So how could you kind of describe what it is about the work that we do and that I do with you that's made you stick to it, and how maybe it's different than all the other stuff that's out there?
Right. For sure. I think with you, there was knowing for me that it was like so positive, so helpful, that it's almost, it wouldn't make sense to like not be doing it for me, to have something to follow up with every week. And as far as other modalities, other ways of like ceremonies or going and doing retreats or having in someone, I don't know, hypnotism or like something, it's just like all these other maybe one day, weekend, just short-term solutions is looking for something that's not really going to solve the problem. And as much as information you can have overnight in a day, and how much like one experience can be so impactful, you will keep running back to those modalities or solutions with no ends. Like there's no end to these ways of trying to figure out the mind, without you actually going and doing the work and doing what it takes to really go in and figure out what is the deeper problems. And not only like figuring out what it is, you may already know, it's like an everyday practice that you have to implement in your life to change your life. And with you give a way for people to change their life in an impactful way that is not going to be a cheat. Like this is not cheating. It's like if we have sessions or we meet, it's like we're going to walk through what it needs to be walked through. And then the next week we're going to do it again because new things come up during the week. And then it's just like, it's a fair balance of actually reshaping how you think. And it's not really like something you can just pull out at once. Yeah.
Really well said. A lot of the work that we do is talk about, is it's opening the heart. And for a lot of us, that sounds so wishy-washy and almost meaningless. Like it's just said so often. But what does it mean to actually doing this work, going within and opening the heart? Like what is that? How does that work actually look, and how does that play out in our lives?
Right. So, yeah, it's not really cliche to say opening the heart, because it's almost, this is where your presence is. Like this is where you accept and you receive, and this is where like you quite literally feel your chest when you're in stress or when you're in peace or when it's just, this is the mechanism to start to become more present. And the work, maybe or maybe you'll understand, is you can call it healing, or maybe it's just understanding that you're constantly protecting yourself. So the anxiety, everything that we deal with from our lives, compile. And they go to block the heart, you could say. They block your mind, they block your heart, they block you from the world. And when you get into the work, you start to go into every moment from your life that you believe didn't work for you or you don't understand, and you just go and you feel it and you release it from your body, and then you are lifted of this weight that you've probably been carrying your entire life that you never knew. So once you do that, maybe then you can go back to like, what does it mean to open the heart? Because it's just like a feeling. It's just, that you're doing it.
Really well described. And like once you do start opening the heart, how do you experience that? And then how do you even experience that on the outside, or how do other people experience that within you?
Yeah, right. It's like the light. It's like the light in your eyes. It's the light in your energy. It's the light in just how you feel. If you've created a scenario in your head with someone else, it's you creating the scenario. It's you having the anxiety. It's maybe not even true. And what is even true about the situation? It's and once you release yourself of this pain that like you've had with someone else for so long, it's like you release it for you and them and for everyone else in the world that is like dealing with the same pain almost. So it's like you only have so much energy, and when you go in the tank of like the subconscious and you just take it out, you just take it back for yourself. So it's directly correlated with your like being able to take a weight off yourself and being able to use it to do something more positive for your life and for other people.
Well said. I remember this like maybe a few months ago. We were having dinner, and this woman came up to our table and basically said like, "You have amazing energy, like very powerful energy."
Mm.
And sometimes this energy word, maybe it sounds kind of woo-woo or buzzy, but fundamentally what we're doing is this emotional energy work, and we're letting go of these heavy traumas and emotional energies. Can you talk a little bit about as you move up in energy and what is it like to have better energy? What does that mean? What does that feel like?
Right. Um, hmm. To move up in energy almost manifests in you getting the things that you want that you didn't think you could have before. And moving up in energy is more so manifest in the way that you just have more to do in your day, and you have more energy to put to the things that you know are aligned for you and that are your purpose. So, and it's almost like making amends with these things that you couldn't before. So, yeah, the feeling is indescribable. It's kind of just you sit less in the shit that you used to be sitting in, and then it's just like not even an issue for you anymore.
Yeah, as your energy changes, so much of the work that we do as we do this healing, right, is we're visiting the young boy in us, or the if it's a woman, a girl, but we're maturing inside, and you're still very young, but I've seen you grown so much as a man in the last year. It's insane. From the depth of your deepness in your voice to having a beard to just the way that you act in the world. Could you talk a little bit about how does this energetic work fit into just growing in as a man into masculinity? How does that take a play?
Yeah. For sure. I think everyone, whether you know it or not, is looking to become a man or a woman. And that's one of the biggest jumps that you'll ever make in your life, is to being a man is knowing that you can handle things and you can do whatever you put your mind to or put yourself to. And yeah, it's very empowering for relationships, for dating, for being around women. I mean, being 24 is kind of like a weird age because it's like you're surrounded by women of all ages. Like you used to go for girls, and now, like when you grow up, you don't really want that anymore. So you have to become a man if you want a relationship. And then for work, like if you want to make money, you have to be a man. Like you want someone to come give you money and go pay for their whatever they need taken care of. If you want people taking care of their brands, their houses, their life, you think they're going to hire like a boy who still doesn't know, what's coming out their mouth? I mean,
So stepping more into this masculine energy, really, and we don't mean a derogatory sense, but really it's an energy that's just there's female and masculine energy. But what's it like to just naturally in doing this healing work and to step more into the masculine energy? Like, how does it actually feel? What's the essence of it?
How does it feel? Yeah, being a man and doing this work is like the opposite of victimhood. And sometimes it kind of sucks to like rip out that victim and to rip out anything where you just loved falling short, you loved losing, you love, like maybe not consciously, but like you just love being short, so you can go back and run to everyone else who, your mom, your dad, your friends, like you just want to run back to them and for them to make things okay. But when you're the man, things are just okay. Like things are just fine, and everything just works. And it's like, it's kind of weird. It's super weird to go and about something and be like if I want it, I can have it. Because like my whole life, if I wanted it, like I just like couldn't have it. And I just loved not having it. But like at the same time, I wanted it. So now it's just like things are easy, and it's like still getting used to it. But yeah, it's like for sure, like part of it.
This has been really great, Jake. I only got a few more questions for you, but what I do want to ask, for the audience is people who already are on this healing journey, maybe they started already working with me, or they're about to, or they've tried other things out there and they're just looking for that right thing to help them. What advice would you give them?
They're on the healing journey. Yeah. It's like a super tough one. It's this whole practice is almost like a game against your mind. And the more you can just know what's good for you and to know what's going to work, then the more you just go towards it, and the more you just make a commitment to do something for yourself instead of going and making decisions that are comfortable or in the mind. So if you're like living day by day, you kind of have to you have to do the work yourself before you get into this work. You have to be committed to making a change. Like that's, if you're not committed to like, hey, like I'm going to start waking up every day, I'm going to get to it, I'm going to start working out, I'm going to start meditation, I'm going to listen to better music, like just, you have to be already in the mindset of like, I'm getting it, like I'm going to go get it. And that's the way you have to tech healing. It's just the same way you work out, same way you go about studying or working, just anything in your life. And then you get to this point, and then this is like gold. All this is gold, because this is the underlying layer of everything that you've probably been looking for. So this is becoming alive and growing up.
Beautifully said, man. We're going to wrap up here, but is there any just a last thing you just want to say to people watching this who, they're on the healing journey, they're interested in spirituality, they want to dive in? Just any last final words?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, if I could say one word, I think work with Madison. I think work with Madison. It's so much easier to have someone help you along the way who just already has done it and knows it, and to kind of take you through it. I think we all need help. Every single person needs help to do this. And then the more you're committed to doing anything that it takes in your entire life to just feel better, regardless of the places you have to go, the things you have to think of, the more you're just willing to go like cutthroat and like, I'm just willing to go anywhere, the better you will be. So, and even if along the way, if something happens and like he may say something you may not like, it's like, it's always in the best interests of your life. I had many experiences along the journey where, Madison told me just like sharp things. And I'm like, I was like, I didn't want to hear it, but then like a few weeks later, like, I mean, it just changes your life, just like some small things that you hear from someone else. So, this is a commitment, and if something finds you, you just have to trust in it and believe in it and go with it and don't question it. If something finds you, it's there for a reason all the time. So, yeah.
All right, man. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you having the trust and faith in me for our work. It's been just about a year now. And journey's not over. We got a lot of things to do together. You started, taking your own tools and your own healing career. And it's pretty amazing and super exciting to see what unfolds. So we'll have you back on the channel soon. But thank you, brother.
Thank you.